some guys grow their entire business based on, where they played, how good they were, and a lot of people have pretty successful careers in baseball, kind of approaching it that way. I spend literally no time talking about where I played, how good I was, um, and the reason for that is because one, it doesn't matter. Two, I wasn't really that good. So it's important to understand the things that are important for your athletes to know and things that aren't important for your athletes to know. The thing that I do obsess over and the thing that I do spend the most time talking about, addressing, and also just working on like outside of lessons is my ability to communicate complex information simply. Um, when I used to work in science, I used to work at the Food and Drug Administration as a chemist, and what I found was that a lot of scientists didn't know how to communicate the information that they were seeing in front of them with people that didn't understand science. So I think of my role as like a hitting instructor as kind of like a communication specialist. So I see the movement, I study the movement, and I like understand, you know, the body and like the muscles that are involved in it and everything. But it's not important that I be able to talk about that well to kids, because if I'm talking about, what the glute is doing or what their pelvis is doing, then kids just look at you with like deer in the headlights eyes. It's more important to give kids really, really simple things to understand that they can grasp onto, so that way they can simply remember stuff. So, for example, maybe in like a hitting drill, I might be talking about trying to, pull your back pocket, the front pocket of your back leg forward, because that's synonymous to moving your back hip forward, or pushing your front pocket of your front leg backwards, because that's synonymous to pushing the front part of your pelvis backwards relative to where you're standing in the box, right? These are like just examples of really, really simple cues that a 6-year-old can understand, that if I were to use more complex language, they wouldn't be able to understand. So my ability to communicate those things is really the things that allows me to bring value, and I think that's one of the things that I'm really good at, is being able to create these different ways of thinking about movements that you're trying to accomplish in your swing. Like, I posted a video a while ago, I think it was on Instagram, so I may not even be on this, but I was talking about how you want to think about your upper half like you're carrying a box of pizza. So let me kind of explain what that means. I'm going to be really brief on this one. But like, if you're doing your swing and you're like holding a pizza box like this, you want to make sure that pizza box doesn't fall. So as you get into your swing, you want to keep your palm up, and that also keeps your forearm angle up. If I drop my palm like this, that means my swing goes down, but I also drop that pizza box. So that analogy of trying to hold the pizza box throughout your swing allows hitters to understand that, oh, I don't want to bring my hand down in my swing. I want to keep my hands up. So, or an example could be like, I could put like a baseball in a kid's hand and tell them they can hold it when in the beginning like this, and then when they start their swing, they have to open their hand and try to hold the ball in their hand for as long as they can. Now that's just a slow-mo movement drill to figure out where their body is, but that's a perfect example of one that, a different way of communicating, a different way of feeling it. And really that's the thing that I'm able to bring to hitters that other coaches aren't able to bring. So I think the biggest problem in the way hitting is taught is vague cues. So many times hitting coaches will say, okay, keep your elbow up, keep your weight back, or they'll just say like stay back, or and these things, they don't really they're not specific enough for hitters to actually understand what's going on. Whereas, saying, okay, like lean back as your hips slide forward, That would be an easier way of saying that. It'd be easier for me to like make it visual. But at the end of the day, we want hitters to not be able to find the way to make a mistake. If you give them a very, very specific drill and use very, very specific words or specific visuals, then the way that hitters can find themselves making a mistake, like the amount of ways they can make a mistake, greatly reduces. And if we can come up with a way to say something that the amount of mistakes a hitter can make in their movement goes down, then we're in a positive spot. So that's really what I'm aiming for with everything that I do, is communicating in such a way that there's no way that you can mess it up. Obviously, that's never possible. You know, like I'll send a drill video to someone and they'll send me a video back on them doing the drill, and 9 times out of 10 there'll be something that's a little bit wrong, but then I might make a new drill video to address that little thing that I had left out in the last one. So it's constant iteration, it's constant trying to make myself better so that way hitters can be the best version of themselves. And if you're not committed to that, committed to the learning and the communication aspect of it, then how can we as hitting coaches, or just coaches in general, ask hitters to bring their best every day, to reinvent themselves every day, when we're not doing the same?